Welcome back, witches. I'm Steph, the host of Witch Wednesdays podcast, but you are here for the Witch Wednesdays Friday show. And today I am going over my witchy tech, which is really just the apps that are on my phone. Before we dive into the apps, which I'm gonna, put right here, I do have my phone here. So if you see me looking down, that is why I'm looking over the apps as I'm going through them to tell you what each of the little things do inside each of the apps. And then before we get started, I just wanted to mention a couple of mainly one other witchy thing, and that is in general just protecting and cleansing your phone. So I do mean physical mundane cleansing, because phones are disgusting, like they're so dirty. So it's really important to disinfect them and clean them every day. So as often as you can remember, clean your phone. But it's important to energetically cleanse and protect your phone as well. We consume a lot through our phones. It's social media and everything else, and it can be really draining. So protect yourself, protect your phone. Something that is really easy to do and nobody will know that you are doing it is to write a sigil on a piece of paper and then slip it inside your phone case. So it goes in the back there. And if you don't have a clear phone case, if it's, like just covered like mine, nobody will know that you have that slip of paper in there. And you can make a protection sigil, a happiness sigil, whatever it is that you need for your phone. So that is just one thing that I wanted to mention before we get started. So I have all of my witchiness in one app on my phone. It's sort of just the general witchy area. And I'm just gonna go through these and then tell you what some other options are. First one you're looking at here is Night Sky. And I love Night Sky. There are a ton of different apps that you can use that do the same thing, but essentially you point your phone up at the sky around you and it shows you exactly where all the stars and constellations are, as well as, the moon and planets. And I love that because I love stargazing, but you can't see much of anything in Chicago with all of the city lights going on and light pollution. So I love it if there's just, one or two bright stars that I can see. I love to point my phone up and see like what they are a part of and what the sky would look like if I were out in the desert and could actually see everything. I just love stars, love knowing where they are, what's going on in the sky. So this is a really great app for that. And I just like the way this one is set up and that you can also learn things on here. You can change the colors, lots of different options for colors, which can be fun. But yeah, I absolutely, if you are a star person, I absolutely recommend getting some sort of app where you can see what's going on in the sky at that exact moment. I also have a moon phase app. I have my moon phase, but there's also a moon phase calendar and I think full moon phase. There's a couple of different options, but I have my moon phase, which obviously is exactly what it sounds like, and it shows you the moon phase, exactly where you are and what time. So you know when the sun sets, when the moon comes up, and also exactly what phase the moon is in. So if you plan your spell work around full moon, new moon, whatever it is, you know kind of the energy that is going on. I also highly recommend an astrology app of some sort. So I think that Sanctuary, which is what I have here, and CoStar are the most popular ones. So you just have to check it out and see which interface you like the best. But I prefer Sanctuary. And the main thing that I love here is that it gives you your entire birth chart. So you put in where you were born and the date and time that you were born. And it tells you exactly what the position of the stars were at the time of your birth. So that is where you get your sun sign, your rising, your moon sign, all of your houses. So I love that Sanctuary has the details so you can go in and learn exactly what a 7th house means. And it has your birth chart so you can learn what your placement in 7th house is and slowly go through it, because astrology can be a huge topic and a lot to learn there. So this breaks it down step by step. Obviously, it also has the horoscope readings every day for your sun, moon, rising, so you kind of know what is going on. It has monthly horoscopes for your sun sign, so you can check that out. But yeah, I just love that it has all the little guides so you can actually learn what you're looking at, but then also saves your birth chart information so you can reference it at any time, because it's so hard. Unless you are an astrologer and do this every single day, it's really hard to memorize your full birth chart. I also recommend getting a tarot app of some sort. I have Labyrinthos, but there are a few others as well. I really like this one because you can see the decks on here. It's like having an actual, deck of cards, and you pick the spread that you want. You can do a general spread, a daily card pull. They have spreads related to career and love and whatever you need details on. And then you just pull the cards, pick the spread, and then read about each card. So it's really helpful for people who don't have a tarot deck or don't want a tarot deck, and it's just easier to stay in the broom closet, have the apps on the phone. This is a great one for doing a daily spread, or they have spreads that are related to the moon phases and everything else, so you can find anything that you want in here and actually learn about it. So there is, courses and guides that you can learn about each of the cards as they come up, each of the different suits, and when you draw your cards for a reading, then you can look at those in particular, and it walks you through the entire card. So I appreciate just, having all of that information. If you are into crystals like I am, then having a crystal identifier on your phone can be great. This one is just called Rock Identifier, and all you do is take a picture of the crystal that you have, and it tells you exactly what it is and all of its correspondences. So it tells you about, generally what it looks like, where it comes from, what it's made out of, and then its, properties, energetic properties, its magical properties, what it's used for. So all of the information that you could want. So again, if you have trouble identifying them, if you have, a collection, then this can be great to take pictures and know exactly what they are. If you don't have like a crystal book or don't want to have a physical book on you, this is a great option for just looking things up quickly. And along with that is a plant identifier. And again, this one is called Plant Identifier. I think it's called Picture This Plant Identifier. Blossom is another one, and you just take a picture of the plant that you're working with, flowers, whatever, that you are wanting to work with. And it, again, gives you all of the information about it, including care and instructions, which can be really helpful if you have a plant in your home or multiple plants, and they have some sort of issue, like they're wilting or leaves are browning. You take a picture of whatever the issue is, and the app will identify what the problem is and how to fix it. So I really appreciate that. I only have one indoor plant, and it's a snake plant, so it takes care of itself. That's the extent of my green thumb. But I really love the plant identifier for that reason, but also when I am out in nature and there is something around that I am interested in, I love being able to take a picture of it and get the information on the spot of what that is, whether I can touch it or not, all of the medicinal and magical information about that plant. So another really useful witchy app to have. And I do want to say that everything I showed and listed are free apps. Sometimes when you open them, they will have a screen that says upgrade to premium or free trial for this, and it makes it seem like you need to buy that, you need to sign up for the free trial. You don't. All of these apps are, everything that I showed you is free and remains free. When those little screens come up, there's a tiny little X in the top right corner that you click to get out of there and get back into the regular thing. So just so you know, these are all free. I hate that it's super tricky how they make it look and make the little closeout button so hidden. It's frustrating, but they are all free. I also have apps that I consider witchy that you might not, but that is social media. So YouTube here, Instagram. I really don't. I have a personal Instagram, and then I have an Instagram for Witch Wednesdays podcast, and I really never update my personal Instagram. Social media is not my thing. I don't have a Facebook, any of that. So I only use the Witch Wednesdays podcast Instagram, and that's all witchcraft related. I only follow other witches. And then I also have the Discord. And all three of those, YouTube, Instagram, Discord, are very witchy for me because I just have, our Discord server. If you didn't know, there is a Witch Wednesdays podcast Discord, and that is completely free to join. Lots of topics going on in there, discussion always going. So lots of interesting things to share, witches from all over the world in there sharing their information. So highly recommend joining that if you haven't yet. But that is obviously very witchy for me. There's Discord servers for every topic under the sun, so it might not be a witchy app for you, but it is for me, as well as YouTube and Instagram. So if you don't follow me on Instagram, definitely check that out. It's always linked in the description. And the last thing that I wanted to mention that I don't really have, but sort of utilize. So, and that would be an online grimoire or book of shadows, because that can definitely be made into an app. I have the notes version on that just comes with the iPhone on my phone, and when I am out and I think of something, need to jot it down that is witchy related, that would normally go into a working book of shadows, I just type it on my phone so that I don't have to carry the pen and paper with me everywhere, and then I can transfer that into my book of shadows when I get home. So I've mentioned before that it's incredibly important to write things down. It seems like really mundane and tedious, but you are never going to remember like your entire craft. You're not going to remember what ingredients and things you did in a spell, so you're not going to remember how to, reverse it if you need to, or recreate it. So writing things down is so important. And if you need to do that in the Notes app, excellent. But there are a lot of ways that you can make just an online grimoire. So if you have no interest in doing the whole pen and paper book of shadows thing, I completely understand. You can do that. There's apps that you can use, and there's also just various platforms online. So Google Drive is one that's totally free, and you can put as many notes in there as you want to. And Notion is another one that is a website that's free, and you can set that up. It's really fun to work with. You can link stuff, so when you click on one entry, it goes to another page. So you can set up like a whole, index and make it like an encyclopedia of your whole book of shadows. Really interesting. I am not great with Notion. Like it's a steep learning curve on that one. It can be very tricky to learn with, but it would make a great book of shadows if you are committed to that process. So those are all of the things that I wanted to specifically mention and show that are on my phone. I'm sure there's plenty more options of witchy tech and witchy apps that you can have. So if you have any others that you particularly love, let me know down in the comments. I know that other people are always looking for different apps and things to try out, especially free ones. So if you have any, let us know. Don't forget to like and subscribe because it helps me out so much. And I will see you next week.